Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another edition of The Stack. The sun is going down. The door to my patio is open because it's getting cold out here in Toronto, and the door is open, so the air conditioner is off, and that's where we're at. I am joined by Logan Petersen, but before that, I want to tell everybody that this is always brought to you by the Realm Gaming Network, who have a wonderful Battle Hardened happening next month, which I will be at. Logan will also be at. You got to go check it out. RealmGamingNetwork.com. Go check out the Fall Brawl. Lots of great contests, raffles, an alpha draft, a speakeasy, cosplay. Go check it out. Logan, how are you?
I'm doing great. I was just thinking, you mentioned that, Flake, and it's something that we have in common. We have both seen a cold foil Heart of Fiendel opened out of an alpha pack.
Again, for those who may have missed it, Keith from Realm Games, he said, and I quote, "When I've got nothing to do, I make poor decisions." Well, this started out as a not a poor decision, a fun decision. However, it turned into a brilliant decision because we opened a box of W2R Alpha. The pack I was holding in my hand.
Your hot little hand.
Oh, so good. Passed it to my friend Mike, a.k.a. No Control, a.k.a. Nick Bolas. I gave it to him. I said, "Hey, you open one, buddy." And he's like, "Nah, man." I said, "Absolutely, get in here." Opens a cold foil Heart of Fiendel.
Matthew DeMarco, adjacent to greatness.
Always.
That is your epithet, sir. That is
Skill
who you
adjacent, luck adjacent, friend adjacent, as we are right now. It's good to have you here.
No, you are friend full, sir. You are not adjacent. You are straight up in the cockles of my heart.
Perfect. The right place to be, and we're going to play the stack. For those who are unaware on how this works, I'm going to throw 9 statements at my good friend Logan Petersen. He's going to tell me, "Hey, that resolves. Cool job. Way to go. Awesome. Here's an Emperor Palpatine from DS2 Star Wars by Decipher." Not quite? Okay. The other is, no, that definitely fizzles. We're going to play Flip It or Rip It. Oops, there's the cold foil Heart of Fiendel. That's how we're playing. Are you ready to play?
Oh, let's go. If I'm flipping and ripping, let's fucking do this.
All right, let's do it. It is time to play the stack. Statement number 1. This is the best meta ever.
Resolves. 100%. I think this resolves. We had, of the nationals that happened during national season, there are 16 adult heroes that are legal currently in Flesh and Blood Classic Constructed outside of adult heroes, not young. Matt, do you know how many of those were represented in top 8s in nationals?
Top 8s at nationals. I'll say, out of, how you said 16 legal, I'll say 11.
15.
Okay, who was it that didn't make it?
Can you guess? Take a guess.
It wasn't Azalea because she
not
made
Azalea.
Levia.
No, Levia got in there.
Katsu.
Katsu's correct.
Oh my God, how the mighty have fallen.
Well, yeah, because think about it. If you get Katsu combo line, it still does roughly the same or less damage as Fi does with 4 cards just doing nothing. So why would you ever play the combo lines? It's just not. It doesn't matter.
There is no, quote, best deck.
Resolves. I think that we are in, because I think, and this is, I believe, part and parcel with this being the best meta, is there are angles to this meta. There are deck choices that are safe, and there are deck choices that are good. I don't think that there are deck choices that are the best deck overall. We saw that in the top 8s. We saw that with Michael Hamilton winning U.S. Nationals with a very different take on Icelander that attacked the meta in a different way. We saw that, we have a bunch of different things happening across this globe where you may think you have the best deck and you get run out of the room. So I feel like there right now is no best deck. I feel like there are the best players, and this is as skill intensive as a format gets.
This is one that I always have trouble with. You've been there, I've been there, everyone's been there. It is harder to plan dinner at a Flesh and Blood event than it is to make day 2.
False. Snap. Not close. So we talked about that. I just got done recording Flesh and Pod. You can go ahead and listen to me every week on Flesh and Pod, but got to get the plugs in when they're there. We talked about this where Jordan made a comment that that nationals felt small, but not the number of people small, but like homey, like everybody. And I think that has a lot to do with the flesh and blood community and how it intersects at every point. If you walk around the event hall of 1,400 people, and you have these groups of people talking, you can look at a group of people most of the time and know somebody in that group, at least tangentially. And so when that happens, you have these massive groups of people that want to get dinner together. We had, 12?
We're
trying to find...
Yeah, it's the worst. It is.
And
the
that
worst.
it was a trimmed down 12.
Yeah.
We easily could have been bigger.
No, that's where we've kind of come to a decision where eventually it's just like, okay, I'm going here. Yeah. Just if you want to show up, that's fine. Don't get mad if they can't accommodate a table of like 47 people. But that's just the way it goes. If it was up to me, every event would just be catered, and we all just turn the tables into dining tables, and we'd all just eat together. But that's
we're just all at Hogwarts, and that's all that. Yeah,
100%.
Right.
Or we'd all just eat out of one giant trough. But whatever. Okay.
That's very American of you. Okay.
Next one. Dynasty will release a classic constructed hero.
I think that resolves. Mainly because I believe that there was discussions of a new class in Dynasty, and we haven't really seen that yet. We've seen Talented with Royal, which is super interesting because somebody did leak a photo, they pointed out that there's such thing as Royal Kano now, where you can use the new crown to get a gold and then play cash in to draw 2 cards for free at any point in time with Go Again in Kano.
We're at that point of debauchery, and
we're getting weird. But when they say that they're gonna add a new class, I feel like they want to add a new classic constructed class in like a prestige type of area. So I'm thinking we'll get something along those lines as an adult hero out of Dynasty.
Dual format tournaments are the right way to go.
Resolves-ish. It resolves with caveat, mainly because if you're trying to convince me that a dual format pro quest is the right way to go, no, it's not. You don't want to stress the logistics of smaller tournaments. That doesn't make any sense. That would fizzle. However, when it comes to larger scale tournaments, I think that, again, skill testing is the correct thing to do. We've had this discussion a few different times when we were talking about Blitz at Worlds, where I believe that determining the best in the world involves all formats, all competitive formats. And I think that holds true for when you're talking about nationals and pro tours too. You want to be as skill testing as possible, and to do so, multiple formats make sense. And so, I think that in that case, multiple formats, dual formats specifically, is what you asked. But I think that multiple formats is the way to go.
So we're on a 4-spot streak here of resolves. Maybe I'll throw this one at you. Or is it 5 actually in a row that resolve? How about this one? Ranger will get a non-bow weapon by the end of 2023.
Fizzle. They're not doing that.
Yeah.
I don't think. No. I would love them to do a bow that has the ability to attack. Just something simple. The one I've always come up with, and I've spouted this off a few times, is just a simple pay 1 resource. If you have not played an attack action card this turn, deal 1 damage. And then it's a bow, so you can use, reload abilities or whatever it has, or has another ability to load an arrow for, with Go Again, no benefit or whatever. I think that is a totally fine solution to the problem, but I don't think that they're going to go outside of bow.
So you're saying a weapon that doesn't even attack, it's just like a clean deal 1 damage, much like, it's not arcane, it's not nothing, it's you just peel one life point off your opponent.
Correct.
Okay. I actually think that's quite fascinating. That's pretty good. I can see a bow that actually you can, it's like pay 2 to swing for 2, as a last resort, but...
So pre-Uprising, I would never have suggested that. But when Quell exists, you can still prevent that damage. You can see different Quell equipment come out to work with it as well, but it then enhances the Quell ability and what that means in constructed formats because really it's not played a ton outside of Limited right now. So I think that that's just an open design space to deal damage that isn't necessarily physical or arcane that can be blocked or AB'd.
Yeah, let's just give people more reasons to play Crown of Seeds and Oldhim to prevent damage and stuff. But Werner Herzog as Oldhim is good casting.
All right, I'm gonna go. We're talking like prime Werner Herzog, right?
Oh, I mean, we could say right now, like the way that I see him, I'm thinking of Werner Herzog as the grizzled imperial officer in Mandalorian. Yeah.
Can Werner Herzog still stand? Like, is that a thing? Well, I guess Oldham can just sit on a throne. Yeah, okay. I'm in. Resolve. Sure. He would. I think that he has a lot of range, in general, and he has that. He definitely has old man quality, where I don't know how to define old man quality, but it's there. It's kind of like Orson Welles as Unicron. Like it's perfect casting.
The way I see it is that he would be not like an active kind of like attacking style character in any type of cinema or television show. However, it does open up flashback to him being young, where there's another actor perhaps portraying him, like Tom Hardy or something, where he was like young, older.
Right.
Hey.
Or we just de-age Werner Herzog.
Don't do that. No. If you've seen The Irishman, you know that is a
bad idea.
Yeah. For a movie that I thoroughly enjoyed, watching a quote unquote young, what's his name, Robert De Niro, quote unquote beat someone up on the street. Nah. It looked like. It looked like they were their age.
They should have just used footage from Raging Bull.
For sure.
Would have worked.
You're going to love this one. This one is as much for Jordan as it is for you, so I'll let you speak for the crew of Flesh and Pod. Prop bets at FAB events will become a thing.
Sanctioned or just normal?
I'm talking about, hey, it took a while, but eventually states and even here in provinces in Canada have legalized prop betting and such, to the degree where even at stadiums you can go and hit, you're going to get a beer, why not drop $5 to say that the next possession is going to end in a punt, let's say, right? Like let's go down that route. I'm saying that, hey, why not take a prop bet that pays 4-1 that Michael Hamilton will top 8 or something like that, or 2-1 that Michael Hamilton will top 8.
That pays 1-1.
I think that's a 1-1 as well. But yeah,
pays 1-1. Ooh. I mean, I'm gonna go vote my desire and say it resolves, because I would stop playing this game and only prop bet Flesh and Blood. I would just show up to the event with fat stacks and start laying prop bets everywhere I go. That is feeding my degeneracy in a way that makes me excited to be human. I did not know that was a thing in stadiums in Canada, where you can just like waltz up and prop bet something.
Not at stadiums here, but in the States, I believe that is something that they're working on, if I'm not mistaken. But you can, if you want to, bet on all kinds of sports here in Canada. It's been legal for a while, actually. Yeah,
in the States, it's still a little bit new to be able to do sports betting in multiple states. Like, it's not federally a thing as far as like every state has it.
I'm just saying.
I mean, I would do it.
You can, if you want to. I mean, you come up here to Toronto, Montreal. It's like within the span of 10 minutes, you can smoke a J and drop, $2 bills on a Habs game, and it's
smoke a J and drop a K. Let's go.
It's like my McNugget dipping sauce move, which is rip it, dip it, and chuck it, baby. That's my. It's my luxury.
That's the new one. It's your luxury spending when you become a millionaire, is that you no longer will use a sauce packet for more than one dip.
Oh,
get
please.
this thing out of here. Just
get out of
rip
here.
It, dip it, yeet.
Yeah,
we're done.
Easy. Rip it, dip it, eat it. That's it. Found
Rip it, dip it, yeet it, eat it. Let's go.
I love it. All right, print the shirts.
Eat, repeat. Yeah, let's go.
God. All right. You did say that it's a 1-1 for Michael Hamilton making a top 8. That's the prop bet odds you're setting here. Vegas may say otherwise, but I don't think they really give a damn. Ultimately, here's the statement.
They don't.
Michael Hamilton is the best Flesh and Blood player in the world.
This is difficult. This is actually hard. I'm going to say this resolves for one reason. He is at current the only player that is top 5 ELO in both limited and constructed. He's number 1 in constructed and number 3 in limited. And that's crazy. What the hell? And he's won 5 PTIs, has had to burn 0 of them because he's always just qualified anyway, and double qualified for Worlds on ELO because reasons. And that's ridiculous. Now, that being said, what I need, and sponsored by the Realm Games, is Keith Bartram to throw a Michael Hamilton versus Pablo Pintor money match. so that I can just watch that and do it like the 4 or 5 deck style, where each one brings X decks. They can each ban one, and then you play best of 5. And who's got this? That's kind of my dream, is to see something like that happen, where it's this like narrowed like down challenge. Maybe if neither of those guys wins world, then you can just throw Tarek in there as well if none of those 3 do, and then you have a 4-man or 4-person run where it's and do that as the money match, where it's a small bracket type of thing, and see who actually is the crown champion of all at that point.
And have it on an abandoned oil rig in the Atlantic, so we could also
That's the only way we can do this, because we need to...
It's next to a cockfight as well. That's like...
and the Kumite is being held in the below decks.
Yes.
So it's the cockfight is happening in the midship. Below decks is the Kumite. And on the platform of the rig is where we're going to have this money match. And if you lose round 1, you are now forced to participate in the Kumite.
Logan, thank you so much for playing the Stack. You are one part of the Flesh and Pod podcast, something that I tune into regularly, which I believe a new episode should be dropping tomorrow, if I'm not mistaken, which is technically today. So yesterday, when this comes out. So tell us where we can get more Logan Petersen.
Every Tuesday, Flesh and Pod releases a new episode on all podcast platforms. You can find me on the Flesh and Pod Twitter account at FleshPod. It is exactly as dirty as it sounds. You can also find me on Twitter at Logan Petersen. I basically am only tweeting about Flesh and Blood these days. Every now and again, throw some sports and gambling in there too. And then you can also find us in our Discord. Flake is in there, so if you are in Discord, you can look up whichever server that Matt DeMarco happens to be lurking in, and you can probably find ours at some point. And anybody, you can also find me just by DMing me if you're in the Instant Speed Discord or Fresh and Buds or any of those other Discords. My DMs are open to anybody that I share a Discord server with, so you can reach out to me there too. I'm easy to find.
Beauty. Thank you so much for doing the show. You're a good friend, a great company at all times. I look forward to seeing you in Columbus. And friends, thank you so much for watching The Stack. We will be back next week with more statements. Don't forget, you're not losing if you're learning. Keep playing the game. You might win. We'll catch you next time on The Stack. The Stack is brought to you by Realm Gaming in Mansfield, Ohio, a wonderful place to get your flesh and blood fix, but not just that, they also specialize in Magic the Gathering and Pokemon. So if that's where you need to be to get your card fix, that's the place you want to go. RealmGamingNetwork.com. Keith and Jacob, who run the place, are developing a wonderful community of fun and inclusivity. They are also the ones who put on that magnificent 10K out in Ohio. So if you want to get a good fix on cards or just play the game, if you're in the Ohio region, you want to go to Realm Gaming. RealmGamingNetwork.com.